I showed up at Malpelo with a plan, and the ocean had other ideas for every single frame of it. Malpelo is a tiny volcanic rock sitting about 500 kilometers or 310 miles off the coast of Colombia, and the current there never stops running. I had my camera rig, my shot list, and a very clear picture in my head of what this trip was going to look like. But what actually happened was so much more. The liveaboard we were on, the Ferox, pulled up in the dark, and there was Malpelo, just this black rock jutting out of the water like it just dropped there by accident. At this point, I've been on the boat for over a day to get there, and I couldn't wait to get in the water. I had my rig set up, batteries charged, every setting dialed in from the crossing, and I genuinely thought I knew what I was doing. I've filmed in current before, cold water current even, so I rolled off the skiff feeling pretty confident. It's hard to imagine filming as a scuba diver, but imagine needing to control your position in a 3D environment where everything moves so much faster around you. All the while, these gusts of wind and occasional whirlwinds, or rather surge, whipping through to challenge how steady you can hold your shots. Not to mention, filming takes a lot of focus and a lot of time that you could be task-loaded and not paying attention to more important things around you. But at Malpelo, the second I looked down, I could see the water was moving a little bit differently than anything I'd filmed before. It didn't just push me, it pushed everything around me all at once. I spotted a school of fish stacking up near a wall, framed the shot, hit record, and the whole school peeled left like a curtain closing. I kicked after them and they were already gone, so I just hovered there, breathing through my regulator, thinking this is going to be a lot harder than I had planned. Back on the boat, that night, I looked at the footage and every single frame shook, with the horizon tilting because the surge kept rocking me sideways. I told myself it was just day one and that I'd get lower, find a rock to hold onto, and slow my breathing down. But deep down, staring at that little island from the deck in the dark, I honestly wasn't sure I was going to come home with anything worth showing. And by the way, if you're enjoying this video, now's a great time to like and subscribe. This channel is all about scuba stories, dive adventures, and underwater encounters that bring you closer to the ocean. And if you're enjoying it, please do share it with others. Day 2 was when I realized it wasn't just one thing moving, it was absolutely everything all at once. The current was running hard enough that I had to kick constantly and just to stay in one place. And even then, I was slowly drifting off my spot. The surge had this rhythm in and out, like the ocean was breathing. And every time it exhaled, my camera frame wobbled like I was shooting from a moving bus. Then a Galapagos shark came through, gliding on the current like it was riding a conveyor belt. And I turned to track it just as the current shoved me in the other direction. Even my bubbles refused to go straight up, with the current pulling them sideways. They trailed off behind me like a flag in the wind. Back above the surface, the frigate were chasing and harassing the local Nazca boobies. Clouds were racing past the rock, and the dinghy that we were climbing into was rocking up and down so hard that climbing back onto the ladder felt like a carnival ride. I was fighting all of it, kicking hard, gripping the camera housing with both hands, trying to muscle the water into holding still for just one clean shot. By the end of the second day, my legs and my ego were completely burned out, and my footage still looked like a shaky mess. I sat on the deck eating dinner, wondering if I was going to come home with anything at all. To be at such a remote place and having so much beauty around you, pretty disappointing if I don't come home with anything to show. By the third dive on the second day, that afternoon, I was genuinely tired, not just in my legs, but in my brain from trying to control something that had no interest in being controlled. Our dive was near a pinnacle, and I found a spot where I just took a long, slow breath through my regulator, and I just stopped kicking entirely. I let the current take me, and for the first time since I had arrived, I actually watched what was in front of me instead of wrestling against it. The camera was still rolling, but instead of finding the motion, I was moving with it, and everything shifted. A school of fish passed through my frame. You would think that they would run into me, but they just went all around me. And then I was inside it, not chasing it from behind, but actually inside the school as it moved everywhere. Then a Galapagos shark cut across my path, not because I tracked it down, but because the current carried both of us to the same spot at the same time, like two leaves landing in the same puddle. And that's when it clicked. Malpelo isn't chaotic at all. It's just a rhythm that's faster than anything I was used to. The island wasn't the one that needed to slow down, and once I accepted that, the whole trip turned around completely. The footage I came home with from those later days and later dives is genuinely different from anything I expected to shoot. It's not perfectly steady, and it's not framed the way I would have planned it sitting at home before the trip. The motion is right there in every shot, and you can feel the surge moving through the frame. But instead of looking like a mistake it looks like breathing. The fish schools move through like weather rolling across an open sky, and the camera tilts with the surge in the way that it feels like a pulse. Like the ocean's own heartbeat made it into the footage. I spent 2 full days chasing controlled, clean shots, and they were technically fine, but they looked like something out of a travel brochure. The shots I got when I finally stopped fighting are the ones I actually want to watch because they look exactly like being there. I traveled 500 kilometers or 310 miles to this remote UNESCO World Heritage Site with my full rig and my shot list, and the lesson I came back with was to simply let go. The ocean doesn't hold still for anyone, and that is exactly what makes it worth jumping into. Stick around because the next trip is already being planned, and I have a feeling it's going to move just as fast. If you enjoyed this video, I have a perfect video to follow it up with here, and YouTube thinks you might like this one over there. The more you know, the more you'll love and protect the ocean. Until next time.